intro, like say, hey, welcome to the lab.
Hello, welcome back. We're here for take 3 of the emergency STSH rapid fire free for
Right
all.
on.
Episode 14.
We're trying to save a woman's life. Everything seems
She was
calm at the moment,
beautiful.
but you never know.
Beautiful.
Things could explode anytime.
Exactly.
So we gotta stay
Well,
vigilant.
exactly, Rick. And you know what? If something does happen to her, then you know it's the freaking truth. But somebody shouldn't die to prove the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that
Someone
what we
shouldn't be
want?
harmed. No. But, yeah.
Whatever. Even if, on the off chance that it is some big friggin' psyop, and Crib seemed to think that he had, like, evidence, or he caught something, I don't know. But even if that happens, it's not going to hurt us to at least give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, look at her situation, if it's true.
Could we at least add the caveat that this is coming from the guy who thinks the space station is inflatable?
Well, whatever. Yeah, I think I'm done with him too, man.
Well,
I can't see how a person can just turn on everybody who was his friend before.
well, he sees that as a personal attack against him because we don't agree with him, or not agree with him, because we won't give him his, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what it is that he wants.
His beef is with Chad. His beef is with Chad because Chad has him blocked. But what does that got to do with me?
I even said to him, Chad said he has you blocked. Come on with a different account.
You know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to say it, and I don't care if you fucking attacks me. I don't give a shit, because, I love a troll. But, anyway, most of this bullshit that's coming up from the negative, like, going negative against Amanda Mary, is because Chad brought it up. And people don't like what he says, because he says it the way he says it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Bottom line. There's no bullshit. There's no underlining bullshit. It is, you get what you get. And that's where that negative shit, because if it was anybody else, the only other person that'll attack that hard is, honest to God, is Justine. It's the only other person I see that attack that hard.
But I'm telling you right now, like, I mean, I do not, and I will not allow my show to go and call people out. I am not doing that anymore. Made those mistakes months ago. I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay.
So
no, it's not even.
we're not doing that.
Give him a
All right, yeah, let's just move past that.
Yeah,
let's talk about Mary.
But in a general sense, I don't know how somebody can place their own issues of being questioned about their knowledge ahead of some woman's safety, where she's targeted for fucking murder, for crying out loud, and somebody wants to go on about what they know or what they think they have proof about. Well, that's fine, but don't
do it later.
Yeah, do it later. Let's
save everybody else
first.
Too.
Yeah, let's save the woman first. Yeah, let's save the woman first and address your knowledge later. We're not trying to crack the code of cancer here. We're trying to save a fucking woman's life.
Right.
Like, for fuck's sake.
If the other side is wrong, that think that it's all fake and she ends up dead, how shitty are you going to feel?
Yeah, exactly. Right. If she does end
up
dead.
I would rather be wrong for the right reasons
exactly.
than be right for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just my... But I didn't get any sense of deception from either one of them.
Nor did I.
Like I said, I asked specific questions specifically for a certain reason.
Yeah.
We are all natural.
Not only did they not answer them, they answered them and then elaborated on them. And that's big. So they're not reading from a script. They're not, they were just real. They were real people. I think that are genuinely afraid. You could kind of hear that too. Like, people have algorithms too, the way they talk. Like when she would talk about being afraid, her voice level would go up.
Yeah, and also too, they did it in shifts, and it took a while for either of them to warm up to us as well.
No, because I think they're afraid too. They don't know who the fuck we are.
Exactly.
Excuse my language. We could be the people that want to hurt them. They don't know. And then once, because they were very direct at first, but then once they were like comfortable, they talk freely and wonderfully and very willing to give out personal information to us. You know, very willing. Here you go. Here it is. Without question, like, oh, well, I don't know. The only thing she was like, is this going public? And I agree with that. I would question that too. And I'm like, you remember? And I said, no, this is in private. That's in the private chat. Nobody else can see that but the people on the panel. These aren't liars. They're not liars. People can call them crazy. People can call them whatever they want, but they're not liars.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I'm totally going with that until I'm convinced otherwise. And
Yeah.
you know,
they're not lying.
I'm as much of a skeptic as anybody, and we are all skeptics. It's what we do. I mean, we're skeptical, right? But we don't have to sit there waiting to pounce on somebody.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, some of the other characters that were in the live chat. I mean, when somebody can place their own trolling efforts in front of someone's life who might be in danger,
right?
Like, where the fuck is
how
your
can
allegiance?
he be absolutely so positive? Or how can anybody be so positive that they're going to do that to a woman?
It's a distraction. It's the whole point. That's the whole point of a troll.
It kind of makes sense now.
Distracts you, to get you away from it, to get you focused on them. And you did the right thing, Robert.
Thank you.
Shut it off, shut it off, and restart.
What kind of an asshole would you really have to be, though, to go to a funeral and start heckling the guy reading the fucking eulogy?
Yeah, that's
exactly. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. How disrespectful could you possibly be?
Yeah, because I don't like this guy reading the. Look at his tie. Look at this. Look at the pants this guy's wearing. You see the shoes this guy's fucking wearing, reading the eulogy right now. I mean, this is really the people that we're dealing with. This is how much they care.
Because you are so right, Jack. Because it's that ridiculous. This is the shit they say to get you fucking unfocused or. I love a troll. Love them. You know, for years I had my YouTube channel. I would not write anything. I wouldn't even like a video because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit. I didn't. Yeah. And then one day something happened, and it happened with I'm not gonna say his name, but I'll write it in the corner. And I snapped. I completely snapped. I lost my mind because for years I watched this shit go on and on and on. And I'm like, man, you can't even like read interesting comments because you got to be inundated with bullshit constantly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's frustrating to me, like I'm a reader, so I love reading. I read books. My kids are like, oh shit, she's got a book. Don't even bother her. You know, like, so I read a lot. And so I'm trying to read some, and I got to read all this crap in between.
In between it, yeah. Yep. And that's the distraction for people that are actually here to talk about the actual topic or issue that's being discussed.
Exactly. It's just like a commercial on the television. You want to blow shit up. It gets louder. You ever notice that commercials get louder?
Oh, yeah.
You're watching a TV show, and it's like on blast, and you're like, really? Really?
Yeah. Well, that's why some...
It's the same thing. They use the same techniques.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually,
kick people out of the chats.
I was gonna say that's why televisions came out with a feature called AVLS, automatic volume leveling. Yeah, it's because of the commercials.
Yeah, well, the government was supposed to stop them from doing it. Big joke. They never did. Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Go look it up. They were supposed to do it, but I only watch television to see what's going on. You know what I mean? To see what they're setting us up for next. I don't watch television generally for entertainment, except for survival stuff. I do watch it for that, but you know, I learn something new all the time with that.
Do you get the feeling that some of these people that do this routinely in the chat rooms, I mean, is it just attention? I mean, do they just want to be the center of attention and they don't care who's on stage, what they're saying, anything? They just, it's like that Stewart kid from Mad TV. Look what I can do! Look at me! You know?
No. I know.
I mean,
me. Look at me. I'm important.
Right. And again, imagine the kid standing up at the funeral doing the same thing. You know, look at me. Look what I can do.
Forget about him. He's dead.
He's dead.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly the point he's making.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Oh, it's sick. Yeah, it's attention. I think some of it is controlled, and you can sort of tell the control part of it just by their wording. And Chad, if anybody knows better, you do. I mean, you just tell by the wording. But this other nonsense, those are people that were picked on in school, and that sucks. I don't think that's right. And now they found an outlet. I can pick on you now. I fucking hate the whole world, and I'm going to pick on you. I don't care how serious the subject is. I don't care what it is. I'm going to pick on you.
Yeah.
You know what? Stick a big hot dog up your butt. I can't, because I will snap. That's why I don't, if I'm on the live air, I do not read the live chats.
Yeah.
Nope.
Eat a bag of balls.
Well, and you also wonder how many, if there are shills, how many are using the people that need the attention or are hurt and are
absolutely do. That's how they suck the in ladder.
Yeah, to do their work. You know, it's like, oh, easy, because I can just get them to do it.
Exactly what you do.
For
free, by the way.
Yeah.
Total useful idiots. I mean, doing the bidding of the machine.
Yep, exactly. See, your learning ladder, I love it, because you're learning.
Oh, I have been
sucking them. They suck those little basement boys right up.
Well, I've been watching things, and I watch how people are, and I watch why people do what they do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I see patterns like, you know, Chad mentions. You know, you can tell.
People are like computers. They have algorithms. They don't change. They do the same thing. They can't help it. Even if they try not, they will fuck up at some point.
But you know, the mistake they are making, and that they've already made, is they're doing the same thing to everyone. Now, see, when they just used to do it to Jesse, or if they just do it to me, if they just do it to a couple people, well, then everybody else would think, well, this stuff doesn't occur, or this stuff isn't a routine. You know, see what I'm saying? They're doing this to everyone, to where now anybody who sits back and watches, and just for 15 minutes, just sits back and watches, goes, okay, I'm starting to see these patterns here, because it's all these people are doing.
Well, it's very easy to distract her.
When you and Jeff did that video, that was the best. When you guys did that video on the show, I'm like, everybody should watch this, because how can you not see it after watching that? I'm like, oh my God, do you have to have it drilled into your head?
Well, everybody sees it when it happens to them, and that's what I was getting at with them going down the line, doing it to just everybody. Well, even the people who wasn't paying any attention and didn't believe that it was even occurring, when it starts happening to them directly, well, now they do notice the pattern, because it's right in their face, you know?
Because it's them, yeah. Because it's not self-centeredism. I don't know. Like, I had never been attacked. Like I said, the first time I ever wrote one thing ever on YouTube ever was defending. It was Jeff in Red Pill. That's what I was out of my tree. I was like, that's it. I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of it. And I just lost my freaking mind. Then I got my house threatened, my address put on the internet. You know, like, really? I didn't care. I'm like, come to my house. Possession's 9/10 of the law, motherfucker. Step on my property. I own you. I will kill you dead. And tell God you died. It's that simple. But, you know, I couldn't take it anymore. It was years of just watching stupid.
But if you never saw that, and just somebody came to you and said, hey, there's all this nonsense going on, but you never saw it yourself, you see, I mean, you would have to take the word for it, or you'd have to go looking for it. When this stuff is everywhere, you cannot watch any YouTube video, or I've never seen one, unless it was just uploaded like 30 seconds ago. But I've never seen a YouTube video that doesn't have this behavior in the comments section. I don't care if it's a cute cat video. I don't care if it's, you know, a diet video. It doesn't matter. Yep. They're everywhere. You know, it's everywhere.
It's inundated. It is everywhere. And that's why, and it's not to offense to anybody. I really try. I don't even like to comment on anything because I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like dealing with it. I don't feel like dealing with some idiot saying something totally, some vile, stupid mouth vomit, IQ of a Lego block idiot telling me something stupid. I'm like, oh, you want AT&T and reach out and touch somebody. You know what I mean? Like, oh, can I just...
Yep.
This is what makes the world shitty.
And the people who enjoy this, who do it for a hobby, it's their fun time. That is the strangest part to me because, I mean, I guess I can understand one side of it, but it just seems like if that's what we're really dealing with, if there's this many of the population who thinks that this is what fun is, then I don't know what can be done about that. I mean, maybe the shallow end of the gene pool needs to be flushed.
Like a toilet.
Yeah.
Like a fucking toilet.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
They need a swirly for sure.
Brings back a memory of Married with Children. You guys remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank you for making me old, Robert. I love you, man.
Hey, anytime, baby.
Tato, old. I remember that show too. I used to watch it.
We're so old. We're so old. We fart dust.
Oh my God, Robert.
We got Crystal in our live chat.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
I freaking love that girl, and you know she got crap in the chat too, and I was like, Crystal, out of all people, you know.
I know, she's so patient, and yet she'll kick ass when she needs to. I like that.
Yeah, I just give up and set fire to the room. I just be like, okay, that's it, done.
I didn't even see her. Yeah, no, I don't see her. I don't have her here.
She's in the live chat of the on the YouTube.
Oh. Well, bring her on.
Well, she can come on anytime she wants. She's invited.
Yeah, she needs to come on in and chill out with us. Sometimes she can't get on. I know
Mandy was here too earlier, but she didn't say anything.
Who did?
Probably didn't get any room to say anything.
Who?
Amanda. She was on her phone.
Oh, Mandy.
No, she was having problems with her phone.
Yeah, her phone's kind of dodgy at best.
And it was sending feedback too. And then if she was typing, it sounded like Morse code. You know, like.
Yeah.
No. She's a sweetheart, though. She's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
They're good people. I mean, you just know, like, who's good. You just know. They don't change. They stand their ground, whether they get attacked or not. Like Chad, like everybody here. Like, if you don't agree with something, say, I don't agree. Whatever. If you flip-flop like a fish out of water, you gotta question that shit. And that's the true way. If you're flip-flopping from left to right, you don't know. You got to start to question what's going on. Like, stand your ground, hold your values, hold who you are, be who you are, just be yourself. You know, and then go from there a bit.
Yeah, but what about the psychopaths? I mean, when you're telling them to be themselves, well, they are. I mean, that is what they are.
Themselves, they're just fucked up.
Yeah,
right.
But that's the thing, Chad. They show themselves like psychopaths and start going lunatic, and I'm going to chop up your children and do other weird shit, whatever they're doing.
And the internet breeds this kind of behavior because it gives people who are too weak to behave that way in life, because they really do think that. They really do feel these things, and they wish they could act them out, but they know they can't, because if you go stand on the street corner and you yell out the type of obscenities and slurs that they do in a chat room all day long, it won't be like 10 minutes no matter what city you're in. Eventually somebody's gonna come along and bust you in the nose. You know, I mean, it's just the way nature works. And so they know that, and so they run and hide on the internet where they can act out their little twisted fantasies that they're too weak to, thankfully, act out on the real world. But it breeds this mentality.
Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
Yes.
that's whatever's in your heart is gonna come out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Good
and
or
it's not the outside of the glass that makes it sturdy, but
yeah,
That's
exactly. It's what's inside. So I mean, those people that are talking like that, that's who they generally are. Paid, unpaid, I don't care. That's who they are. That's because
right.
nobody could pay me any kind of money because I don't even value a fucking dollar bill. I don't. I value what's real, what's tangible, my family, the people I love, like all you guys, my family, you guys, like I love you guys. That's tangible to me. It
Yeah.
means something.
Mm-hmm.
well. The thing is it's a choice, and they're making the choice. You can still change that choice and choose to do the right thing. You know,
Right.
they don't
Right.
have to be stuck being that way if they want to.
Oh no, it can change. You're right, Letta. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, I know you feel the same way. But it's like, we're not saying that they're just this is how they are. They are being ugly on the inside. And like you said earlier, we have to look and reflect on ourselves. And I'll get the whole "oh, you're so self-righteous" crap, but I do that every day, and I have faults, and crap going on with me. I am not perfect, but at least I try to be a better person, and I try to treat others the way I want to be treated. If they keep treating people like crap, it's going to come back to them. And it probably
Yeah,
that's what's going on. It is coming back to them, and so they're
there
going to
ain't
attack back.
right. There ain't one of us that walk on water. None of us are
No.
perfect, and we're gonna make mistakes. But the beauty is, when you make a mistake, you say, "I made a mistake."
Exactly.
Man up and say that, and say, "You know what? I was wrong." This whole thing, like I didn't see it in that chat, attacking a lady that did nothing but come out and be honest. And to attack that's terrible. And like I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, a lot of it I truly believe because it came from Chad and people don't like him because they don't like what he
Oh
stands
yeah.
for.
Hell, if I could
You
cure
know?
cancer, I could do a video, and if I somehow knew how to cure cancer and I could put that out in video, there'd be 11 people that would have to dislike it just on
Yeah. Just
merit
on
alone.
principle. Just
Yeah, just
your
because I
name.
said it. Right. And
And
I get
and
that. I understand that.
and that's terrible. And if they actually tried to just use one brain cell in their head to see what you're saying, like when you say things, I'm gonna just use just one little brain cell. Just
Yeah,
use
well, when you're using your only brain cell that you have active to attack somebody else and defend your own pride, not realizing that you might actually be helping somebody else, like fuck,
yeah.
that's fucking irritating.
It
Oh,
is.
Right.
god damn
Come
it.
on, we got business to do here. You guys are just coming in here and fucking it all up.
Cocksucker, you know how pissed off I am right now? Like,
I know, man.
for
I
fuck's
know.
sakes.
We all are, man. We all
Yeah,
are.
you gotta let it go though.
Oh, and they're back again too,
Oh
buddy.
yeah, roll off my back like beaded like water beads. Yes, yes. Fuck, you know. Like I said, I didn't get into this game to make friends. If I make friends, that's great. That's awesome. But I didn't come into this to make friends. I came into this to help somebody. Here we have an opportunity, and yet I'm called upon to defend someone's pride of their knowledge. Give it fucking rest.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Listen, a lot of and this is something else. A lot of channels. I don't want to say who or what. Well, I'm not gonna name names, but they're narcissistic. They can't take. If you don't agree, you're in trouble. If you don't do that, you're
yeah, and they'll spend the next 7 hours trying to convince you that their brand is the right brand, right?
no, fuck that. Because you know what? That's 7 hours. You know how many breaths I have to take in 7 hours? Fuck
Yeah,
that.
you're not getting that time back.
Exactly. Can't get it back, and I'd rather put it into something positive, like
Mm-hmm.
what Chad produced to us and showed us, and now we can help somebody else. And I truly believe we're going to help this lady. I think it's going to make a difference. I think they're real people that are really genuinely afraid. And if, that's what they're doing, not if. That's what they're doing. In
I think
years
they feel
of
better
research,
now.
yeah, I think that it's from the way she was talking, and Doug, her husband, was saying that it's gotten a lot better. Things have calmed down because they've been put on blast, and I think that we
I
should
think we're
totally inundate that the Dominican paper there, the Daily, what was it? Something that she was calling it the fail.
Daily
the
Fail.
Daily
Daily
Mail.
Mail.
That's funny because
You
I heard a
start
little.
inundating that.
I heard a little bit of Jeff C in her voice when she said
I
that.
know. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? She called it the Daily Fail too. I was like, ah. I caught
Yeah.
that immediately.
I blurted out a laugh there. I was like,
Oh yeah, she's got attitude. You look at her page.
Oh yeah.
God
Oh
bless
yeah.
her. Well, you gotta, if you're in that situation, you gotta have some kind of spine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To stand up. That's why, the other reason why I believe it's real. Like, she's really putting herself out. You can just hear it in their voices, that you can hear in her husband's voice that he's truly worried about his wife. Like, how many times did he say, well, Mary, like, he's worried about her. You know, he's not making that up. You can't, listen, even an actor can't really put that true emotion in their voice. Like, he was like, well, Mary's worried, so if she's worried, I'm going to defend her, and I'll sit here, and...
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to hear that he's that kind of a guy too. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah,
anything about
definitely.
him, so you know that he's
God.
whatever comes through the door, he's gonna meet it head on. So
And he said it just like that, and
yeah.
he also explained he's not a tough guy, but he's not going to just let something happen to his wife. And I think that's beautiful. You know, I think they're beautiful people, and I think they're honest.
yeah. And I'll tell you, like, there was a lot of subtleties that, to me anyway, showed that it was not an act. I mean, she had some cute statements, like she's like, "Yeah, he's brave,"
Mm-hmm.
but but it was kind of cute, like the way she, like,
Yeah.
they both had, like, he was trying to be protective of her because he was unsure if she was going to be uneasy about speaking, so he pulled his grit together and got onto the podcast. And then later she's talking. He took
I
a
think
break.
that's why she finally came on. She realized it was a real deal, and it wasn't.
Well, yeah,
It wasn't.
that was
something-
good. That's his job to do that. Check us out first before he's
Yeah. No, it's
six the
great.
wolves on his wife. No,
Yeah, no, it's
I would never do that either. I would never let her just.
No,
If I was there,
he was uneasy at first. I mean, he didn't know
No,
who
he
the.
was, and you could say he was very direct. He was talking, and he was like, when I think it was you, Robert, that asked, "Can we talk to Mary?" Well, he was just being protective, and they were feeling us out, and they should do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we should all do that, 'cause we
Mhm.
don't know who we're dealing with, and who's who, and it could be, like we said earlier, you never know. You just really don't. And I think the stakes have gotten higher, and everybody's stepping up their games on every side, and so that's why we need to really stay united and stay together. And even though we differ on views of different things, or of whatever conspiracy or truth or whatnot, but the point of that we're in this to do good, and that's our goal, is to do good.
Yep.
And also, it's to learn from each other. We need to learn from each
Definitely.
other.
Yeah.
And you can take something, and if you don't agree with it, put it aside. If it's somebody being honest, I'm not talking about the T word, like that crap. I'm not talking about the trolls. I said trolls.
Ah!
I just said it twice.
If you say it a third time, one's gonna pop up in your lap.
No.
that happened to me. It's like it blew my mind.
But anyway, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about honesty and integrity. You learn from people. You don't have to agree with everything every channel puts out.
No.
Put it aside, and then put it on the back burner. If it pans out, it pans out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Most people that are wrong will come, if they're honest, they'll come out and say that Shit, I was wrong.
There's more to this movement than just trying to prove each other wrong, for fuck's sakes. Like there's
Isn't that what it's like? That's what it is.
you know, like there's other things at stake. There's a human fucking condition at stake here. And like, you know, sometimes part of the human condition is accepting the fucking human condition.
Exactly. What I've been telling you, you finally got it. That's what it's all about. What is the big picture? What is the human condition right now? Where are we? You can learn from the past, but where we are right now is where we are right now. And we don't know the future, but all we can do is act according to what we're determined to be, which is caring. And you know, we need to bring people together and help people, and what we're fighting is evil.
Be the positive.
No
to
other
the
word
negative.
for it. It's evil. What they're doing is evil. They're doing it without love. They're doing it without caring about anybody. And that's what our power is. We have love and we care. That's our strength. That's what's gonna protect us from
That's
them.
what we have in common too. You know, everybody that puts out the content or does these podcasts, you can tell who's actually got the, you know, compassion and the love behind what they say, and we all have that in common. That's what matters. You know, it doesn't matter our different views necessarily,
Right.
but what we all have in common is we all care.
Right.
Exactly.
Don't sweat the small shit.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was saying. Put the small shit behind you, move forward.
Or as Arnold Schwarzenegger might say, stop whining.
Well, it's like Tay says, you know, even if we watch something, like, you know, I have content that I put out. I don't expect anybody to necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but maybe they could take little pieces of it and then throw the rest out. They can totally throw the rest out. But if they grab one thing that'll be a positive aspect for their life, you know, that makes me happy.
I mean, you're not telling people
if
what
you
to
can
think.
reach, if 10 people are listening, if you can just reach one.
It's not like you're telling
that
people what to
one.
think. You're sharing how you see something and how you feel, and that's just you sharing. It's not you telling them that they have to feel the same way or think the same thing.
But if I give you smiles, because you go on and on and on about something, and I give you smiles and respect for having an opinion, and then the second I have one, you shit on me.
Yeah, you piece of
I know.
shit, you motherfucker.
Fuck right off. You know, like what you're doing. You know what? That's not leading by example. That's leading by self-righteousness, man. That's fucking bullshit.
Narcissistic.
Well, how about leading by deception? I mean, because I don't mind if I like what you were just saying about when we share stuff or put stuff out, it's me sharing a perspective or something like that. And I'm not asking everyone to agree with it. In fact, I don't mind if they openly say, "Hey, I disagree, and here's why."
Right.
Fine. I don't even mind if they say,
Just
"I don't
debate
like
it like
you."
Gentlemen, you know.
Well,
civilly.
I mean, even if they don't like me and they want to say, "I don't like you, I don't like your hair, I don't like your tie, whatever," fine, okay, that's fine too. But this
That
deception
being said,
thing,
now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the issue.
right? But this thing of leading by deception, I've heard people openly refer to me as a CIA agent, and they have for months and months and months, and I'm just. That's fine to say that, but could you, instead of just regurgitating that, could you show some proof of that? Just once. Just
God,
one
I knew it all
time.
along. I knew it all along. See? I knew it. I knew that's what you were. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Pass it in the bag. You heard it here.
Then if it were true, then there should be some documentation to prove this, right? And whatever these people that is giving them that impression and makes them regurgitate that constantly, what are they looking at that's where's their evidence for this, you know?
Exactly. They got none. It's zero. Oh, I got the CIA. Listen, they made a whole video on me saying I was a CIA agent. I'm like, well, I want a fucking paycheck at least.
Yeah.
Somebody send me a.
I remember you saying that, Tay.
I was out of my tree. I'm like, yeah, I'm a CIA. Yep, mother of four, CIA agent. Yep.
But these are the same people that say that Rob is Bob Lazar.
Hey, you want to buy a UFO?
I haven't heard that one yet.
Again, a leading
Yeah,
by
but-
deception. You know, they're out there screaming, "This guy's Bob Lazar. This guy's Bob Lazar." I'm sorry, Rob, but you're not Bob Lazar. I know Bob Lazar. You're not Bob Lazar.
You don't look
Trying to break
anything
it to you.
like him.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Not even close.
Oh my
Sorry,
gosh.
guys, I tried. Come on. Throw me a freaking bone here.
But where does that come from? How does an intelligent person sit down and put any two things together and come up with this guy's Bob Lazar?
Yeah, exactly. That's
And you're
ridiculous.
the agent.
A
You
lot of
can't. You can't. You have to pull something out of your ass and just know that you're fabricating a complete story. And
There's
obviously,
illusion.
there's no
You know what?
evidence to support that.
The next thing that comes out of my ass, I'm gonna name it Bob Lazar.
Well, that was on a need-to-know basis.
I'm going to take a picture of it and post it on Google Plus, Robert. I do not want to see that.
Instagram that shit, literally.
See you, Bob. You're going down.
Oh, I'm so
Bless
glad
you.
I don't have like Instagrams. I don't want to see that.
I don't have
Just
this.
saying. I love you, man, but don't want to see that.
Oh, no. I just thought it would be funny to say.
Man, you'd start a new
No, it's funny
trend.
to say.
There'd be pics going up to see who could post the
Oh,
biggest one up.
What,
Oh,
what,
yeah.
Wait, we'll call it captainslog.com.
Are you guys reading the live chat now?
Ah,
So far, anyways.
What's gonna it's like the ISIS bucket challenge. You
Yeah.
want a bucket?
That was good, dude, yeah.
Captain's log starting.
Yuck. That's so yuck.
Y'all are cracking Crystal up.
Get her ES on here. Get that little blind.
Welcome to the after show. I like getting funny occasionally.
You gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh sometimes. Otherwise, you'll stab yourself in your eyes and your ears with a dull pencil. Literally.
Repeatedly.
Exactly.
Great. A little bit of humor is great. Even when you're having a serious talk, you can joke around a bit.
No,
But it has to be like pertinent. It is not. Doesn't have to be some like dissing joke where you're dissing somebody or whatever. You just,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, we were as stoned as test chimps the other night, and
Oh yeah.
we had this conversation. You know, when things get really, 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 really like tragic and disparate, and like, oh my God, what am I? Like, I try to find a way to make that funny.
Yeah.
You know? Doesn't matter how bad it gets. I mean, like, fuck, you can't laugh. You know.
Robert, I'm the same way because you can't fix bad right then. So you just gotta make the best of the situation you have.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
hydroplane
the
over
best
that
of
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly, and just go, all right, and then leave it behind you. Once it's gone, once you leave it, leave the baggage at the door. Don't pick it back up. You know, leave it there. It's gone. Whatever. Because that's why people can't move on and they get stuck in ruts and they're stuck in the same whatever they do. They're stuck in their beast because they can't move on. You got to move on from things.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah,
Listen,
definitely.
I have been through so much in the last 3 months, but it is what it is. I can't go back. I can't make something different.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? All I can do is what I have right now. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Move on. Go to the next step. Try to make something better. Better for somebody else or whatever. Better for yourself, better for somebody else. Just move on. Get over it, move on.
Yeah.
You can't fix it. It's already
It's
happened.
like it's the same. It's like the saying, throwing good money after bad. You know what? You already spent the bad money. Don't go spending more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now work it out within yourself. You know, take the time and find out who you are. That's a big thing, I think too, is that people don't know who they even are.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
They're all plugged in. They don't know.
a lot of it is about being comfortable under your own skin. I mean, shit, how many people don't even understand themselves? I mean, like, you can preach anything you want to anybody, right? But unless they get themselves, they're not going to translate the words that you say into some
Anything.
into introspective analysis. Like, they can't do it.
Nope,
Yeah.
they can't because it sounds like
No.
this. They don't hear it. It
No.
sounds like you're talking like when the computer is slow. They don't hear it. They don't hear what you're saying.
And then they often get defensive and think that you're attacking them. And it's like, no, you know.
Really,
The
I'm
only
not.
time I say anything is if I'm giving them an opportunity to to contribute something. Give them an opportunity to contribute something, see what they do with it. It's up to them.
I give people plenty of opportunity to not be a dick.
Yeah.
And how people fail me.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Sad when it happens. But you
Crystal
gotta move
laughing out
past
there.
it.
No, I told you, Crystal was like, she said she had tears.
Yeah.
I know, you made her cry.
I should bottle those tears up and use them for like a special occasion where I need to like, I don't know, not like holy water, but I guess it'll work.
no, Crystal can't cry because that Crystal. That's why you want to bottle them up.
no,
Crystal.
Crystal Tears will be up on the stock exchange, I'm sure. Like, it'll be pretty high up on there.
Valuable.
Yeah.
It'll be a valuable commodity.
Chat's got something in the side chat. He's gonna cry.
I can't help it. It's the funniest thing. I'm a fan of Kevin Smith anyway, but
Yeah,
that right there is one of the best things I've ever seen regarding internet trolls. As far as the dialogue, everything is just it's too good.
All right, let's do it. You guys want to watch
Put
it?
it up. Put it up.
Do it.
Get her done.
Hey, Rick, if you have never screen shared before, just use.
I have once.
Yeah, and then make sure you hit the present to everyone button.
Oh, what did I do?
Something.
I forgot. I lost the
Draw?
control room. Oh, there it is.
I can draw now. How to draw?
Dun, 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 dun.
Don't make me get all fancy here.
No, we don't
No
need
drawing
fancy.
letter.
I don't even know what all that is.
You don't click it because he's trying to click. I think that's why. I think he has.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on.
Moderator.
Did I lock myself? Oh no, I locked Robert.
What'd you do to me?
You got locked on screen, but I was doing it
No,
on.
I think you have it on as ladder as
Oh,
your
I just-
moderator. That's why she's seeing all that stuff on the side, where she can draw and click stuff and.
Yeah, now you have to select a window when you screen share there, bud.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah, they did the green thing. The green icon.
I'm not sharing my screen yet. Which one's that on again?
On the left side.
Go connect.
That's
Left side toolbox. The one.
It's-
Where's the
It's
share
right.
screen?
It's the little green one with the
Screen
arrow
share,
pointing
got
right. Yeah. And it'll get you to select a window.
All right.
So you guys see it now. Okay. Now I gotta get back to the chat so I can click on that link.
I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
You know what I'm going to start doing, guys? I'm going to do YouTube tutorials on how to do this. Google
Hang
Plus.
on, guys. I'm gonna screen share. Rick, just cancel your screen share
Yep.
because I'm also gonna play the audio, which I can do, which you probably won't be able to do because nobody can usually. So,
You do it. I'll just
Alright.
click on you. There you go.
Cool. Pick a window, any window. Hang on, I'm gonna get this thing queued up first. See this. Oh yeah, I know this scene. Yeah, that's a good one, Chad. Hang on. Just gonna go full screen with this. All right, and make sure you.
You
click
gotta
on-
share your screen.
Yeah, I present to everyone, but you gotta click on me now. So broadcast
It's on there.
Got it?
You're good.
It's on.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay. Let me switch my my goddamn what? Where are you? My Pulse audio. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry, guys. All right. Switching over to my monitor. You won't be able to hear my mic.
Aw.
Yeah. Ooh, check that shit out, man. The internet. Let's see if those fucks wrote something new about us or that stupid-ass flick. Any movie based on Jay and Silent Bob are gonna lick balls because they both, in fact, lick balls. Motherfucker. It's time we wrote something back. Type this shit down. All you motherfuckers are gonna pay. You are the ones who are the ball lickers. We're gonna fuck your mothers while you watch and cry like little whiny bitches. Once we get to Hollywood and find those Miramax fucks who was making the movie, we're gonna make them eat our shit, then shit out our shit, and then eat their shit that's made up of our shit that we made them eat. And then all you motherfucks are next. Love, Jay and Silent Bob. That'll show those fucks. Now we can.
Oh, that's like Shakespeare.
I know. It's so great. So great. And at the end of the movie, the classic scene is them going door to door, looking at a list, dragging them out on the porch.
That was choice.
Oh man.
Hang on. Since we're here.
You're looking for eat a bag of balls.
No, eat a bag of dicks, sir.
At Dick's. I got a good memory.
Apparently, I'm not the only. Apparently, I'm. Yeah, I got a photographic memory, but it's just got a broken lens. Yeah. Damn it. How'd it go?
It's gone.
No, it's not
Did it
gone.
get
It's right
removed?
here. It's right here. All right. Hang
Full
on.
screen.
Hang on. This totally has to have the right effect, the right impact. This is important. We're full screening this, and here's the monitor.
Eat a bag of dicks, brah.
Damn leg.
Well, that was kind of anticlimactic, wasn't it?
I know, right? Well,
Here,
you guys
we'll
can
play it
go
small.
there. Just post the link.
Hang on. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, it's going to get posted. I'm going to try that again. Just we'll play it smaller.
Everybody here's
Maybe
probably seen it anyways.
Eat a bag of dicks, brah.
Anyway, you get the point.
You know, speaking of this, I see Matty D is just commenting about how he just happened to see that thing you were discussing about from the road, from an undisclosed location with Infinity. And apparently Matty's comment was saying he saw the first 5 seconds of it, and that was enough. The entire troll network was there. So that answers that question about Infinity.
Yeah. We are live.
Oh, sorry.
We don't want to talk about people, but is Matty around?
Don't know. He just commented just 10 minutes ago, so I'm sure he's around.
Rick, if you could send Matty D for Truth a link to the Hangout, that would be great.
Okay, we'll do that.
We lost Ladder Rain, but Janelle's in the house.
Today!
Come on, join us. No, she's in the house. I mean, not this house. She's in the house next to my trailer.
I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see without my glasses. Oh my God, it's cold outside. It was like 10,000 degrees outside today. Now I'm freezing to death.
Yeah, you're right. It was like a million suns. Holy shit, it was hot this afternoon here too.
Yeah, I was trying to go out in my garden, and I had to do it in intervals because, you know, I'm fine with heat. The humidity bothers me, though. And
Yeah.
I live on the coast, so I kind of can't avoid that. So, yeah, no, it was really hot today, and it's just humid. It was humid. And they were chemtrailing all day yesterday, so I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, well, you can't see it because you guys can't see it, but I literally sliced in between my thumb and my finger here. I sliced right through. A piece of bamboo went right through my hand. Oh, ugh. Working in the garden. Oh, it sucks.
Hey,
It was
gardening is one of the more dangerous professions.
Apparently, I was like, really? Are you freaking kidding me? So I had to pull the whole, because it was still attached to the bamboo itself. I had to pull the whole thing out, the whole bamboo stick. I'm like, really?
I was actually thinking about doing a comedy, like a comedy thriller, called The Serial Arborist.
Fucking Robert. I love you, man.
just randomly, chopping branches off of trees.
No, I go outside with a knife this big. I don't get cut by that. I get cut by I get stabbed, like literally impaled by a freaking piece of bamboo. I'm like, how does that even happen? How does that even happen?
This does not compute.
It doesn't, it's worth about $5,000 though. That's what I save in like produce. I'll save more than that this year because I doubled my garden. And I made a video. My other ones, I can't get them up. I have to have somebody come and look at it. I have a friend who works with computers. Like when I was seeding, I have all the videos. My editor will not work. It literally spins and kicks me off every time I go on. And it absolutely needs to be edited. But I took the, what do you call it, those stupid things, those little iPad things or whatever. I took one of those out yesterday, and I made a video. I just got to upload it. I don't care if it's edited or not.
I just went through.
At that point, but
I just went to Rick's YouTube channel to look at at this podcast, and he's got 1 thumbs up and 0 thumbs down. He's already got me beat.
You beat.
That was Crystal, by the way, I'm sure.
Oh, here, let me add one to that. Thumbs up.
Gotta get our blonde Fanny on here.
And we got a whopping 2 people watching. Yeah, it's been a weird night, guys. I love it. I said this is gonna keep on going.
Yeah, no,
Every day's a revelation.
Exactly. You learn something new every day, no matter how little, how big, how little, you learn something new.
Well, today was big. Learned a lot of big stuff today.
Yeah, for sure.
It was great meeting Mary and Doug.
Yeah.
It was great to be in a position.
It
was great to be in a position where we could at least create some awareness to their situation, and again, play devil's advocate. Whether or not it's valid or not isn't even the point. The fact that we've put people's attention to the subject matter is what is important. Like I was saying, let's save someone first and work out the logic later. You said it too, Tara. I'd rather be wrong first. You know what I mean? I'd rather be wrong now. For the right reasons, rather than be wrong and somebody be hurt.
Right for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so what? So if it does turn out to be a big hoax, okay, I'm gonna have a hate on for them all of a sudden because they hurt my friends because they gave their hearts to these people and they turned out to be whatever. Okay, get over it, move on. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, in my spirit, I don't feel uncomfortable with them at all. And
Not me either.
For real. I ask specific questions for specific reasons.
Yeah.
And
I think
I'm waiting for that standard answer, and they didn't give just standard answers, and then they would elaborate on it more. And they also talked how it affected them.
And not to mention, you had Professor Doom on the panel, whose bullshit detector is like pretty much it got the attenuation of like a hair. Like that thing, like that would spike, you know. And I've
Well,
only
in flat itself,
and I've
flat
only met
itself.
Spiro. I've only just met Spiro, but that guy, I mean, he's on point as well. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing as far as his research goes, and I'm sure he's got a pretty sensitive bullshit detector also.
Right,
That's,
and Chad is the one that put it out there, and he is like the troll. Listen, you want a troll detector? There you go. He
well, that's
finds
why.
it before they even know they're a troll.
But that's why I said that so many people independently, had already, I guess, vetted this. You could say, using their own discernment. And again, somebody like Doom, he's going to tell you. He's not just going to notice. He's going to tell you what he notices. You know.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons. Well, one of the main reasons I brought him in was because he had some familiarity with the subject and with the people involved. Because he was one of the first people who jumped out and did a video along with Spiro.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's like, I value his opinion. I mean, the guy's a straight shooter.
And he is. And the thing is, he asks the hard questions. He goes through. He's thorough. He's a thorough guy. I hate because he has his own trolls too. But, he really truly does go through and look at every angle. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Ask the right questions.
And isn't that a value of the internet? Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, you heard it on the internet; it must be true." That kind of game. And it's like, you know what? When you hear something from a corporate media source, a television, whatever, okay, they have an agenda. I mean, that's just, you understand that. You know that coming out the gate. But when you're dealing with people online, you're dealing with them directly. And the value of the network is that you can be personally connected with many different people. So it's not that you don't need to listen to any one of them, because you can hear all of them. And you have your own mind. You can, think of your own thoughts. But you can gauge it against the thoughts and intuitions of a multitude of other people who there is no way all of them have the same agenda to lie to you.
Yeah. Hey man, this would be a boring freaking place if everybody agreed with everything we said. But at the same time, there's no validity in questioning everything is also valid, but there's no validity in trying to oppose everything.
Right. Oh man, that's so true. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, because I know the community's gone now as far as Jeff's community.
Yeah, where it was.
Right, but right before, I wish I could find a link to it. It was posted there, but it was about a week, maybe 2 weeks before the TransAsia crash, and I posted something in there that I can't even remember exactly how it went, but it was to that same effect, that it's more dangerous to assume everything's fake than to assume everything is real, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I could see that pattern of everybody anything that happens, I mean, there'd be just people immediately jumping up to say, "Oh, no, it doesn't exist, it's not real, blah, blah, blah." And that's a dangerous thing, because what happens when we get to a point where, let's say they were marching through the neighborhoods, rounding people up, and you run to the internet to try and warn people and try and tell people, and everybody's already conditioned. That's right. No, it's not happening. Yep.
And it's almost that you're talking about the same thing with Amanda Mary.
Sure, it's the same process.
Same process.
Yep.
And they don't want you to believe it. I mean, listen, that is, I really do worry for her, because you try to impact a thing like cancer research, where they're getting all this money. That's dangerous.
Sure.
That is seriously dangerous. It's way more dangerous than what we're doing right here. I mean, we probably put ourselves on high alert tonight, let me tell you. Because down here, let me tell you. I'll just have some more helicopters, it don't matter. But,
yeah, it's really funny, actually. Janelle and I, we left Edmonton. I might have said the story before, but I'll repeat it. It's a different podcast. But it's like I never said it. But Yeah, no, Chanel and I, we left Edmonton, and she left the city where there was choppers, like police choppers, all over the place, right? Thump, thump,
Wow.
thump, thump, thump. You know, flying, looking in her balcony, looking. You know, when I lived in my truck, I went off into the industrial district just to go and find a quiet place where I could just, sleep in my truck. I didn't want to go in the city because, like, downtown, it could happen. So it's like,
Yeah.
I got all my belongings and possessions strapped to the top of the roof. So I go to the industrial area just to have a piece of quiet for sure. Yeah, all night long, cops hovering over me. Fucking, that's the kind of shit we got away from, right? So here we are in Kelowna now. First week here, we Rick and I, we go off to work, and then come back, and there's choppers flying above the orchards here, and what they're doing is they're choppers blowing the water off of the cherries so that they don't absorb the water and burst.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you told me that last week. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know,
It
but
is.
here's Janelle.
Yeah.
She's just here for a week. She's like, what? The choppers? What? What? I'm trying to leave that bullshit. It's kind of ironic.
Yeah, no, there is crazy stuff, and people don't understand, especially like people like us, returning vets or returning military people. There are TIs, there are targeted individuals. That's why you're targeted. That's why chat is targeted, whether it's through Twitter or through G Plus or whatever. That's why you get targeted. That's why Jeff gets targeted. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're telling the truth. They don't want you to tell the truth. And they'll do things if you don't shut up. They'll do things like have four cops, come through your door and start yelling at you because somebody yelled.
Yeah.
And take down a 5'2" girl, dude, because I know my rights. This is what they do, and it's scare tactics. And only but one of these officers, by the way, was old. The two older ones kind of stood outside until they said arrest her. Because I said you can't go through my pocketbook. I have a warrant on my pocketbook. And then they were. It's just. This goes on because you're targeted. They knew me by name anyway. I'm like, how would you even know my name before you even come to my house? So this is what you deal with, and this is why you see like helicopters. And it's not just that, but don't think that doesn't have to do with what you're doing.
What am I doing again?
Like just speaking out. As soon as you speak out, they don't like you.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what pisses them off even more? Is I don't fucking go away, and I just do other weird shit.
Exactly. My friend who is a police officer here, because he knows I'm telling the truth. He's like, dude, I know as soon as I turn in my badge, I'm targeted. And he's like, he's a good guy. He's older. He's older than I am, by far. And he's like, I know. And the young cops can't. The day they came in here, so 2 weeks ago, they were like, fuck him. They were saying his name.
I'll tell you this, man. Even with an extended driver's license or a passport, I'm still afraid to cross the border because I don't know I have no idea what they would say or do when I try to go.
They probably would. Listen, you're blacklisted. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. You're telling the truth. They know every single movement you make on this.
Absolutely. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just the overt basic stuff like your location and movements and stuff, but they know our intimate thoughts through social media.
Mm-hmm.
They have all of our profiles, and people like me have been silly enough to give them 170,000 tweets and 200 videos and countless hours of podcasts and who knows what else, blogs and all this stuff, and that is all data that can be used against you.
Yeah. Well, the video I'm working on right now actually has to deal a lot with that because a lot of that's being compiled and fed into a computing matrix, basically.
Sure.
A quantum AI, and that's what J2 software is all about. I've been
It's
working
all
kind of.
Transcendence, right? That movie. They always show you this stuff in advance.
They do, absolutely. It's all, yeah, the
Transcendence
program.
is that all the shit that we're seeing now. Now they're like, oh, no, first of all, I've always, unless I want my camera on, I've always taped them. I just take it off when I want to. I would never own a smart TV. Are you friggin' kidding me? The frig is wrong with you? You're gonna put that shit in your house.
You know,
That
so
was
I love the
I run
terminologies.
all my
I love these terminologies. A smartphone, a smart TV. It's almost like people like, I want something that's smart because, you know, the people themselves, they're not
because
smart
they're
anymore.
an idiot.
They're
That's
fucking,
exactly
yeah,
why. I
yeah.
need something smarter than me because I
I'm a
have an
moron.
IQ of a Lego block. I'm a retard. So I need something. It's like a calculator on steroids. That's that, you know.
But you know, you have to give the powers that be some credit, though. I mean, it's an easy sell.
Well, because
Right.
they planned it that way. They planned it that way, right?
Totally, yeah.
And the motherfuckers bought it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. I
Fucking
literally got it on every
hook,
computer in my house.
hook, line, and sinker, and cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not, I've told you, I'm not a cell phone person. I don't like smartphone. I don't like that shit. I don't like shit where I can drive down the street and then they know exactly where I'm at because of the phone I'm carrying. Yo, fuck yourself. I don't
Well,
like
again, if it's dangerous, or yeah, if it's dangerous for them to have that kind of information about simple things like location, how much more so is it to give them our psychological profiles so that they can
exactly.
sit back and work for months and months and months to figure out a way to poke you. And that's what I've
Exactly.
seen.
And that was and look at from when they created Facebook.
Right.
That was that. This little Zuckerman dude never created Facebook. That is bullshit. I don't believe it for a fucking second.
No, they made a movie. It has to
Oh,
be true.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, Hollywood said. Yeah.
Yeah.
They cast a little one. No, I don't believe
But
it.
either way, no matter who did it, it is
Who
out.
did it? It is
And
out there, and that's exactly why they created it. To
and
get
it's not just Facebook; it's all social media, all of it.
Oh
Everything
yeah,
we use, it's
absolutely.
their chessboard. But I have noticed that they do sit back, and everybody has a different trigger. Some people you can poke them this way, and it'll get a response. Other people takes other things, and if you're offering no response, they'll just keep poking, and they'll keep
Yep.
going in circles until they just looking for any weakness they can to break you is what it's about, to psychologically break you. And you can tell this is a real effect in people's lives by the number of people who do this kind of work who need to take a break every once in a while because it just adds up on you.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's why I left. But I could not have. First of all, I couldn't have negative energy, and that's just the way I think. My sister was sick, and she doesn't know. I try to tell her about what we know. I mean, I think Chad, you had already left when she came on, but I'm like, I just gotta stay positive. And there was my own
Yeah,
personal stuff going on at the same time. I'm like,
sure.
I just gotta stay positive. And seeing stuff like trolls and shit going, I just couldn't do it.
Oh,
I
another thing I
just
want
shut
to point
down.
out, I want to point this out before I forget it, is even if you're a good person and you're kind and you're nice and you think, oh, I'll just keep, spreading positivity and that kind of stuff. I've, like Ladder Rain's perfect example. She does that uh, all the time. That is her personality, and yet these entities and these energies are still wearing her down just when she needed to
I
take a break
know.
as well. And this is
I know.
positive people who are strong. You see, it's not that they're weak or anything. These are strong people who are, Jeff C. speaking out. People who are willing to take on the heat. So they're even that strong, and it still affects them.
And then they get shit when they're like, I'm done. But then they come back because they truly care, and they're like, oh, see,
Sure.
and they're talking for that. But listen, it's tiring, and I'm only a little sign, and I get attacked. I'm like, really? I can't. That's why I just said, here's the video. This is it. My sister's sick. I have stuff going on. I'm not
Right.
going to be around for a while.
You know
So,
what? that was one of my major trip ups. Was I got a little bit too into shooting the fish in a barrel, so to speak. I was like, but I had a little too much fun doing it, and I kind of got a little obsessed with it.
Like an A12 shotgun shooting fish.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this gets old fast, and eventually there's holes in that barrel. But yeah, you know what I mean, and that's when I had to kind of take a little time and step away.
It is good to take a break because everybody needs time for themselves, just to collect themselves. For whatever reason, just to collect yourself.
And for anybody who's wondering why I came out with that Fur Burger track, that was my answer. Remember when I said earlier? Remember what I said earlier? Like, there's a bad situation. How can I make this funny? Well, that was my answer to the whole. The gay agenda. That was my answer. I'm gonna have a total hetero fucking sexist song. I'm gonna make it so disgustingly heterosexual that it's gonna be awesome.
I'm so far behind. Like I told you, the first video I saw was Chad's.
Well, don't worry. The Mad Burger Fur Mix is coming out, and Janelle actually has a verse in it. Yeah. She goes on about meat logs. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she spins it around. It's good. Don't worry. G Malicious is going to be in on this, and it's coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, I like G Malicious a lot. He was started a studio and stuff. When he first started, he contacted me. He was like, "Is it work?" And I'm like, "Wow, this is great." He had a good thing going.
Oh, he still does. He's been working on some of our stuff too. I haven't communicated with him in about a week, but yeah, he's basically mastering all the vocal tracks and remixing all the audio tracks that I've sent him. So I'm kind of assembling the.
Oh no, it wasn't G Malicious. That was Garbage Media. Sorry, I had the wrong person. I just realized.
Yeah. Garbage Media. That's my old buddy from Toronto. I partied with him before I moved to Kelowna.
Didn't he do your tattoo or somebody like that?
No. He had nothing to do with my tattoo art. But no, that was a buddy of mine, Miles Stiles from Edmonton.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he did the Save the Silly Humans stuff there on my leg.
No, I mean, they're both good people. I mean, I have no problems with them. I've seen it. I haven't seen Garbage Media around, actually. But I haven't been around either. So, I mean, I literally just came back. I didn't...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him either. I really haven't been in touch with him. And, before I had to move, before I was forced to move from my place in Edmonton, we were going to be setting up a whole bunch of stuff, but shit kind of went south for me, so wasn't really in a situation where I could start concentrating on building a website and a social media kind of a presence, on my own site. So, but anyway, that's all changed now. I'm going to be settling down in Kelowna. Things are going to be changing at a rapid pace, guys. We got a whole another year for my registration on the was it epgn.net. So hey, we could probably move away from this platform eventually. I think it's probably a good idea that we
definitely. Oh yeah.
Which makes me wonder what's going to happen to Hangouts when Google and YouTube completely separate here soon.
Well, the thing is, right? Boggles the mind is that they already were separated in a sense. They never actually completely fulfilled the merger.
The merger, anyway. I was just going to say that.
Because it was broken software. I mean, you go and set up a Google Plus Hangout, then the live chat doesn't work on YouTube. You set up a live event on YouTube, and it doesn't fully integrate with your Google Plus. So, I mean, the system's connected, but not fully integrated, and it didn't work. It was like a broken toy. If you bought Google Plus and YouTube at a store, you take it back with a receipt and say, I want my money.
I think the whole thing was just, if they couldn't get you on Facebook because you're a YouTuber, and there are people that do that. They're just YouTubers that are on Facebook.
Here's the thing.
They're connected somehow.
when
Their shit somehow.
here's the thing, right? Is when Google bought YouTube, what they did is they did a force majeure on all of the users on YouTube. Basically, what they did is this: is you want to upload videos to YouTube, you have to create a Google Plus account. And what that
Exactly.
did, that overinflated the number of heads that they had, like as a user like subscription base, but based on phony bullshit because they forced people. So basically, all of their marketing projections were based on bullshit numbers because they forced people to get the accounts. Like it was a horrible fucking trick. And now they're turning around. They never fully integrated the two systems. So it was a broken fucking service on both sides. And now now we're splitting it apart. Well, it was never merged, so you're not splitting it, unbreaking it maybe, but fuck, like seriously, like this is irritating. This is where I get it. I'll start splitting hairs when it comes down to software. These fuckers are like just like they're trying to basically screw everybody twice.
Exactly.
I think Crystal.
The last time I had.
Crystal's trying to get on here, I think, but it may not work. She may be gone.
Bye, chat.
Chad, did you ban Crystal?
No, I didn't.
She might be gone. If it didn't work, her computer's.
Big meanie. You're so mean. Chad controls all the whatever they say.
I know, it's ridiculous. I know.
Nobody controls us.
No. They say Chad controls everything.
Well, it's because I'm CIA. It's gotta be. How else could I do this?
That's what you mean. You have the great eyes. You have the eyes. Right. You do it all, Chad.
That's funny. Because I'm not even military. I'm not even former anything. So I mean, it just doesn't even make sense.
Every time I talk to you now, Chad, I'm gonna call you Oz, the Great Oz.
The Great Oz. Wizard.
He's the wizard. He knows all. He's the be-all, end-all.
Hey, careful. Don't let him get too big of a head.
And it's not really like that anyway. I
know it's not. I'm just teasing because it's ridiculous. I'm like.
But just like neural connections, like the more you're connected to people, whether it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or Twitter or wherever, I am actively connected with a ridiculous amount of people. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of people. So what I have as a, quote unquote news feed on a daily basis is direct links with people like Doom, with everybody that I talk to. And that right there is where I see these things most of the time. It's where I see them first. Coming through the network, as I call it. And of course, a lot of this stuff obviously doesn't ever end up on mainstream media anyway. But the point is, everyone can do that same thing, and then they're not dependent on anyone. That everyone has access to this. I call it the world mind, the internet or whatever. It's just everyone thinking out loud in real time, and because it's amazing power. I mean, we take it for granted and shit, but really, it's like a superpower. And if we all used it together, there's not a whole lot we can't know, because somebody, even if they come on TV and lie to you and tell you the weather is this in this state or whatever, somebody in that state that can tell you what's really going on there. And so you have better access to information than the machine.
Imagine what the internet would be full of if everybody would open their eyes. Imagine what you would see on the internet.
There'd be a lot of shit in a lot of people's eyes.
Listen, we wouldn't be on the internet. We'd be go fucking some people up.
Hey, Crystal.
We wouldn't be hanging out.
Oh, she made it.
That's right on.
Beauty.
I thought we lost you. I hadn't heard from you for a while.
She made it.
Regarding what Chad just said, though, that's exactly why I have such high hopes for actually helping Mary.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
Hey, man, I asked for it a long time ago. Solidarity. Just hey, you know, we don't have to get along, we don't have to agree on shit, but god damn it, I mean, we got to help each other out.
Well, we
No,
should get along. That helps a
We don't
lot.
have to. Oh, it helps, but we don't have to. We don't have to. I don't even have to like you, but you know what?
That's right. But at least
If
respect each other.
somebody is in danger, we should be able to come together to help that person out, and despite our differences.
exactly, and that just goes to show you colors. Like when you're not like, okay, again, I would rather be raw. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Be wrong and proven, or
exactly. And if that person is safe at the end of the day, I'll
right.
fine. No, just let it go. Like who cares? Like if it's a hoax, then we'll blow them out of the water. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
But
we'll
right
we'll
now,
deal with
I
that
don't.
after. Yeah.
Exactly. Right now, I don't believe for a second there's not a vessel in my body that thinks these people are lying. Not one. I have
I don't have any red flags up.
nope, not a
Not at
one.
all.
I
Yeah.
saw a couple of videos and I'm like, that doesn't make no sense. So if you go and actually stop just watch the videos, absolutely, but then go doing your own research and go look back.
Yeah.
Go look
Yeah.
how back far this goes.
Yeah, look
And
at the interview
Do
with
you think
her.
That's right.
Dad would
Look
just
at the
blow
interview
something
with
up
her.
like this?
And there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. But the thing is you
Oh,
follow your skepticism with research and answer those questions. You know,
exactly.
and you
I
know,
don't, and I also take where the information is coming from.
yes,
Like,
absolutely.
Chad would never, not in a million years, neither would Professor Doom, throw something up there that says these people are true and right unless they didn't do that. They would never just put it up there without doing their own research.
But we can all be
Everything they put
wrong.
in.
That's the thing to watch out for.
Exactly. And
We
then
may
you say
be
you're wrong. And then you expose them for being a liar, if that's
right.
the case.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
going to be a hot mess for you. You thought you
But
had
it,
problems before.
Well,
but
that's just it.
anybody.
Problems.
And anybody who knows us knows that that's gonna happen. I mean, like, why would they come to us if they thought that we were
The
just
key
gonna
was,
you know, expose them? Like, if they wanted our help. They wanted our help. That's why they came to us.
yeah, but they were skeptical of us, and that was
Exactly.
key too. They weren't like that. They were very
Exactly.
direct and like, okay, like you could tell they were nervous, and that tells you something.
Yeah.
It tells you that they're not. Because if it was just some scamp, they would have jumped right in, been so happy to be on. They would have already had an account set up, if not 50 more behind it. But it wasn't that. And these people spoke from their hearts. I felt nothing negative about any of it. Nothing. They answered every question right, and then they elaborated. I've said it over and over. They had no qualms, and when I say elaborate, they elaborated.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Well,
look at this, and then look at this, and then look at this.
And I even asked for backstory. Like, I asked about the MMS and the accusations made about her, and you know, she got into the country home that they're renting, and
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and it all it was all corroborated by what I have read. You know,
And who cares if she lived in I owned $1 million home. Who gives a fuck? Years ago, I did. I owned a huge construction company.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
a female construction worker.
the reason why the reason why it's an issue though is because I mean they're spinning a story saying that she's killing children, and and who's gonna give a fuck about somebody who's in the upper class elitist who has a big
Harming.
mansion?
That's
You know,
exactly true. The spin doctors have taken the story and they've run it through several different countries. So
yeah,
now she has nowhere to go because this story is in every country. So everywhere that she's trying to pass to get to safety, there's already a mob waiting for her.
yeah.
It's fucking horrible.
And yeah, and you know, and it's like the war between the haves and the have-nots. You know, it's like, oh well, you know, they have an improper idea of her. You know, like it's not being
Well, why would
portrayed.
they do that unless she's telling the truth about it?
Well, that's just it. That's just it. But you know,
Well, and this is the only way that they were able to spin the story without mentioning GCMAF.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is the only way they were able to put her out there as the bad guy without mentioning that specifically.
Yes.
So, and now they're building on it, and they're getting so many people to grab their torches and pitchforks, and they're scaring the death out of this woman.
Using snake oil stories.
This poor little, you know,
Yeah, they couldn't say
wheelchair.
GCMAF because if they did, people would look it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead, what do? They revert back to the MMS stuff. And,
Yeah, exactly. That's the only drug mentioned.
And then a claim that she's killing children. I mean, at this point, can you imagine a regular reader or viewer? They're just going to see that. Oh, okay, I'm already out. You know.
Right. And that's not even a problem. The MMS, she actually said, is a viable treatment. But the way they're portraying it is it's like a bleach treatment enema for children, and it's killing kids, which is why she's being attacked. So
the most convincing thing.
Wait a minute. They also said if you listen back, Crystal, they've never treated a child ever.
They didn't say, and they didn't say she was killing them. She said that she was harming them.
That she, yeah.
No, she's part of this church.
Big figures.
Yeah.
She absolutely, and so didn't her husband both said they've never treated one child.
No. I never. Yeah, no, I didn't say she did that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just elaborating on what you said. That.
And the funny thing
this
too
woman has never treated a child.
Is the tech sheets for MMS actually says it's not a bleach derivative. Professor Doom was saying that earlier.
Yeah, it's not. That's what the media is saying it is.
Yeah, I know, and it's confirmable. Like,
yeah, they put bleach in my fucking tap water.
The simple fact
Literally,
that
there's bleach in my tap water.
The simple fact that the mainstream media is targeting her with lies and disinformation, I think that's enough for me to be on her side right there.
Yeah. And you know what? They're not just targeting her. They're targeting every single red-blooded, like, male and female in all these countries and trying to change their position on her. Like, you know, and that's why she has nowhere to go.
You know that you can cure yourself without their friggin' drugs and their pharmaceuticals and their HMOs or whatever, their Obamacare. They don't want you to know that.
No.
It apparently goes a step further because I had brand new accounts this morning coming at me on Twitter saying, "Oh, come on, Chad, you don't believe this Amanda Mary person, do you? You're not that brainwashed, are you, Chad? Come on." You know, the be a man, throw down a challenge bullshit.
Yeah.
You're not dumb enough to believe this, are you? And I'm looking at their account saying, okay, let's see who this is. Oh, wow, you have 3 tweets. All of them are to me. I mean, you just made this account to send me these 3 tweets. Now, why is that? They want to discourage people from even supporting her.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a red flag. For anybody that doubts her, that's a huge red flag. If anybody that's been in this truth movement, if that's what you want to call it, for any length of time, you know, that's a red flag for them, the others, whoever's controlling the system.
At a certain point, a buddy of mine used to call it the bowel movement, but we won't go into that.
Bowel movement. When they start doing that and you start seeing fake accounts being created,
exactly.
that person's probably telling you the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
From the perspective.
And you know, I have to send out like a bit of an apology because I was all community based. Part of me likes the idea of a community, but you know, it doesn't work, right?
It could. I mean, if you have a community filled with people who have a common goal of wanting to help, I mean, sure, then I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. In fact, that's why I think they use the tactics that they do for disruption.
Exactly. And I think that's my point. Thanks, Chad. That's exactly what I was kind of getting towards.
I said this to you a long time ago, Robert.
Apparently, community does work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all right. But apparently, community does work, and that's why they spend so much time, energy, and effort to disrupt it.
Yeah, it does, and that's why I told you Robert, a long time ago, I said, this was way back, and I said, listen, if they're talking nonsense and trying to distract you, just delete them. Get rid of them. Because they're not here for any good purpose.
Yeah.
When you continually ask, don't, let's like get off that subject or whatever, don't attack people, and you're being nice to somebody, and they continually do it, then just get rid of them. Because they're there to distract you. They're to distract you from something that you're trying to say, to get out there, to put out there, to maybe, look at my sister came on last week. That I couldn't even believe it changed her perspective so much. Like, you guys don't even know. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been telling her this forever. She knows, like, I'm a prepper, I'm a survivalist. She knows all this stuff, but she thinks I'm a nut. You know what I mean? But she listened to you guys and was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is really real. Do you know what I'm saying?
It really is something to hear people, like real people, talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, it's an eye-opener.
It changed my sister. I know it did. Because she hasn't stopped talking about it. And my sister's not like that. She's a lot... She has a lot of my bad qualities, unfortunately. Like, I don't know, she just does. I'm not going to describe it to you because... Like, quick to just be mad and...
Well, like being like pretty and awesome and...
Oh, I love you. No, but she has that instinct. Just she's on guard all the time.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. She is.
Well, you know what? That's not a terrible thing, given what's going on these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the sad part is, at the same time, because I've been her mother, she thinks like I'm nuts. At the same time, she's like, oh yeah.
And
she's like, why are you doing all that? You don't need to, she doesn't get it. But when, I'm not kidding you, from a 1 week, 7 days, she has changed. Like, she's like, oh my gosh, you're not lying to me. I'm like, why would I lie to you anyway? But she just thought I was nuts. And then she heard it from you guys. And nuts huge to me, to have my sister wake up. I mean, because she's tough, man.
Hey, we wake people up one person at a time, and that's a win right there.
That's right. If, you know what? I know you hate this, but Jesus left the 99 to save the one. So, you gotta... That's the only thing that keeps me here, is like, man, if I can just help one person... You know what I mean? My neighbor next door, she's 62, I think. And she was like, everything that came on the news, she would want to come over and tell me. She's deaf, but she can hear with these hearing aids not well because they're cheap and crappy. But she came over and she's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, her name is Bev. And she was like, I'm like, that's so not true. None of this shit is true. And now she watches these videos. She watches the podcast. She's like, and then now she comes over and tells me, here's this woman who's old and sickly too. She's very, very sick. She just had surgery. I've been taking care of her. But she's like, oh, did you see this? She's telling me things that I haven't even seen.
Yeah.
You know what? If you can do that for somebody, I tried to talk to the other neighbors beside that are young kids. Can't reach them. First of all, they're on drugs, so you can't help that. You can't fix that. You're gonna reach somebody that's all pilled out or coked out or whatever. You're just not. They're just melting their minds away anyway.
Right.
It's sad. I mean, I'm not saying I never touched that shit when I was younger. I did for a brief minute in time, and then I realized it made me stupid. And I was like, I don't like this. I can't even remember what I did yesterday.
I'm still kind of like a Hunter S. Thompson type. I'll do any letter of the alphabet any day of the week. But that said,
what
was I gonna say?
Yeah, I'm all done with that shit. You know, you do that shit when you're young, whatever. I like my beer,
I'm forever young.
but
No, but my point is that you know what? I'm not. I also don't have a family. I don't. You know, I'm pretty much a lone wolf here. I do what I do, and
right.
you know, and I do it within reason. Like I don't show up to a job site fucked up. You know, I have a pretty strict code of how I conduct myself. I work like a son of a bitch, go home, and then do whatever. You know, even if home is a trailer or my car, whatever.
Well, that's the way everybody should operate. And
I'm just about the experience, man. You know, I'm not here for a long time. You know,
none of us are. I can tell you that. So none of us are. That's just the way I feel. None of us are. You know, make the best of it, stand up for yourself, but save as many people as you can, wake them up.
well, that's it. I fell in love with you guys. You know, that's what got me into this. You know, it's like
Oh.
kind of like what you were saying, Tara, about how your sister just, you know, because, you know, you hear about these groups, and you know, I kind of just jumped into it. I don't know how I landed into it the way I did, but I guess right place, right time. I have no idea. Right place, wrong time. I don't know how you want to put it, but you know, I mean, you know, I just jumped in with both feet. Said fuck it, you know.
Well, that's how
How,
you have to do anything. Like,
well, how can I help? You know, I just jumped in. Like, how can I do this? You know, and oddly enough, it did start off with my call in on Max Resistance, believe it or not, out of all things. But I called in. I just called in to talk to Jeff. I think it was back in the day with Red Pill, Jeff, Press,
yeah,
those
yeah,
guys when they were on the show. I called in from a cell phone, with a shitty connection back in like November or something.
yeah. Cause that's how I found out about you was through Jeff.
Right.
Because I didn't know who you were, and you were on my thing, and I was like, I don't
I
know who
think
you
I
are.
came in right
Because
about the.
I'm very freaky about that. Go ahead, Crystal. Please
Uh,
say.
I was saying I think I came in about the same time, the end of the year. Jeff invited me into Hope Central, and that's the first time, my first experience with Google Plus at all.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, we're so happy you had that experience. Because now we have you, baby.
Well, the first podcast I ever did was with Maddie D, Ben, Time Traveler, Izzy Thislin. I think that we had a couple other people that came in that were
The
friends of
second
Izzy's.
one was me, Crystal.
no, it wasn't me.
Yeah,
I
you
I
came
came
in the
on.
second one.
No,
I
this is before the whole "Save the Silly Humans" bit. This
Oh,
was
was it?
it was well before. This was probably the beginning of November. It was around the time that I did that Crimean Crisis video, the funny one, the fun with learning.
Okay, gotcha.
Is around that time period, and then I had to move. I was sleeping in my truck again, and I moved from Regina to it was December 24th. It was a night before Christmas, and I moved to Edmonton, for fuck's sakes.
You did not move from my vagina. Stop lying.
Ha
It's a joke. That's
Well,
good. But
yeah. I had a witty one-liner, and I kept that one in.
I'm like Regina. I've never heard of such a place, but
Yeah, I got stuck in
I just
Regina for
did.
3 months.
I can't.
I've heard Rick say something similar. I was trying to get to Regina, I think he said earlier.
It's the,
Yeah, when I was
you,
falling asleep, and then
you
that
know,
old couple waved me over and gave me coffee. It was awesome.
yeah, it's a place that rhymes with fun.
Anywho,
But
That's
yeah,
what,
no. Oh, so yeah, because I didn't talk to you. First time I talked to you was January.
yeah.
And the
Well,
first one, it was your second Save the Silly Human show.
it was
yeah,
the one,
How I
yeah,
met
and
Crystal.
that's the second one is when we had Jeffrey Sisk
Yes.
that's
from the radio
See what a
uh,
good memory I have, and
yeah
and
when I met Crystal, and
but,
Zeke
no.
Zeke
If
there was
I'm
that
sorry
big
if I'm
fight.
correct, after
Zeke
the
and
third
PD.
one,
That's it.
No, you came on later, Crystal. You came on later
I
after that.
did. I don't think I came on until the fourth one, and
Oh, it was
that
the
was
second
after
one.
the third one. After the third one, Event Skeptics suggested that we got Thor on there, and so I went and hammered him, no pun intended, to
Uh,
try, to join the panel, and he finally agreed. And then once he finally agreed, you're like, hey, you're cool. You got him to agree. Come on my show.
yeah, it was funny because I had to work, right? I was working and stuff, and Event was like, "Oh well, I stay home all day. Do you want me to do anything?" I said, "Yeah, get the ladies to pound on Thor's door." I said, "If anybody will get Thor to come over, it'll be the
I
ladies."
didn't know Thor until Crystal when she was like Thor. I didn't know him till your show. I mean, I love him now.
Uh,
He's the shit. He's awesome.
Idealistic,
He's a quirky son of a bitch, and I like the guy.
but he has.
Listen, that's the thing. Like, that's what we were talking about earlier. You don't always have to agree, but just love somebody for who they are. Like,
Oh
that's their opinion. Like, and he's not forcing. That's the other thing. He's not forcing his opinion on anybody.
no,
He's not dragging it down your throat. Like, and you're a piece of shit if you don't believe everything I say.
I
He's
loved
wicked open to saying, I agree to disagree.
I love this last song that you just put out there. That was
I
awesome.
I have so much catching up to do because I
Oh
was
wait.
literally not on here at all.
Okay, hang on. You're gonna have to listen to this. I'll pull this up. You're gonna love this. Hang on. Let me
Crystal
just.
Mama, I miss you, baby girl.
I miss you too, Tay.
I do.
I'm
I
so
miss you, but
happy to hear about your sister. I'm so happy to hear about
I'm
your
happy too. Thank you. I
that
am, but
makes my whole week.
I was super psyched to be able to talk to Mary there because I worry too because I know that just because they say something is not there doesn't mean that it's not there, you know? So I want to get her that test, but I gotta travel her out somewhere. Holland, I think she said.
Maybe you can send a blood sample somewhere.
That might be true too. Yeah, I mean, I just,
Maybe not all the way to the Netherlands. Maybe there's a place where they can test it. She said that there were people in various places that also do the Naglese testing.
yes, I know she said Holland, that was one of them, but I mean, I'll send it out there, but I would rather know. And I mean, I know it's not good. My sister's been receiving chemotherapy and radiation. It's not a good thing.
No.
You know, all that does is I say it over and over. It's treating an acid burn with bleach.
Right.
Why would you do that? You know,
Right.
you're treating poison with poison. It makes no sense. But now my sister's nervous because she was like, oh, she's having all these other things happen on her skin. And I'm like, and then this is right after she listened to like the holistic part of it last week, and she was like, oh my God, I did the wrong thing. But I don't want her to think she did the wrong thing. You know, it's such a torment for me because I love her so much. And I don't want nothing to happen. She's a young girl. She's a girl. She's 34 years old. She's a girl.
Baby.
She is. And she's my baby. You know what I mean? I raised her. She's my baby.
I do. I understand.
Jesus.
She's gonna be fine.
All right,
I
guys.
believe that. I'm positive, but I want her to do the holistic part of it. You know,
Hmm.
not
Hey,
this
guys.
I would
garbage.
totally trust that a
Hey,
lot
guys.
more than that other crap.
Ready, Robert?
I'm gonna play you guys an awesome track by Thor. It's brilliant. If I could ask y'all to mute your mics for the moment, that would be awesome. Switching to my monitor now.
Stay cool. This is a Thor News presentation. Hit the button, baby. Thor News presents... This video is rated R because I used the F word a couple of times. It is an original Thor News ditty for haters and trolls, and it ain't pretty.
I wanna worry about busting my chops. I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. Why you wanna be all busting my chops? I'm not fucking with you. Not fucking with you. I don't wanna bust your face now, so please don't fuck with me. Why you wanna bust my chops? I ain't fucking with you. Why you wanna bust my chops? I ain't fucking with you. Why don't you go home and just chill? Take a happy fucking pill. I ain't tasting your motherfucking shit sandwich. Your girlfriend sure cooks like a witch.
That was Thor News. And why you busting my chops? I ain't fucking with you. That's so awesome.
Movie Punch Drunk Love, where Adam Sandler is talking to this guy on the phone, and he gets so pissed off he just walks the hell out, gets on a bus or a plane or something like that. Ends up going to this place to shop. Still got the phone in his hand. Maybe it's not the movie.
Oh shit!
Quite the voice Thor has there.
Oh yeah. I just like where he says, "Go home and chill."
Yeah.
Take a happy
Take a happy pill.
Take a happy fucking pill. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like it's almost Shakespearean. I have to say it's brilliant.
So poetic.
Absolutely.
You wanna bust my chops? I ain't fucking with you.
But you know what? That's the theme of the night, actually, in a weird sense. It really is. Like.
Yeah, we can rise above all that shit. Just don't let them phase us. I know it.
Right.
I know when somebody insults you like nasty like that, and makes you feel like shit.
Yeah,
but
well,
then
the best.
Tell yourself, look, think of the source of it. You got any respect for the source of that insult? I don't.
Hey, the best revenge is just to be cooler.
Right.
Be cooler.
Totally.
You got nothing on me, pal. Just go eat a bag of Dicks.
you can eat that bag of dicks one dick a day or the whole bag at once. It's up to you.
Day. You know, once you actually realize that it's a game they're playing on you, then you start playing it as a game yourself in the sense that you don't let it affect you because you know it's a game. You know they're trying to poke it.
And all they end up doing is playing with themselves.
Exactly. Because you're not playing. You're not. If you're not feeding into it, you're not stepping on the merry-go-round. You're not. They're not getting the response from you that they want. So, like you said, they're only playing with themselves.
That's what I always say. Just ignore them. Skip over everything they say and just continue your conversation with each other, and that's it.
Let them snap their little carrot. Have fun.
You can't get them out of there, so they're gonna be there. Just ignore them. They don't belong there.
But I am glad that people. I agree with the ignoring part because I know they want attention, but I'm just glad that people acknowledge that this is a real thing. Because I can remember years ago on Twitter telling people, hey, wait a minute, something's up here. There's all these accounts that are fake. They're all just throwing this stuff out. Something's going on here, something else. These are not real people. There was a point on Twitter where I almost gave up because I thought, well, that's it. The world's full of idiots. I mean, that's just the reality of it. That's it. But that wasn't true. That was false.
It's like in The Sixth Sense, eh? I see stupid people.
But it was a false perception being manufactured by all these fake accounts of people intentionally saying stupid shit. It wasn't real people, see? And that's when I started realizing, hey, wait a minute. There's something wrong here. And when I was pointing it out then, people thought I was crazy. No way. Why are you being mean to these accounts? You know, they think they're real people. And they did not see that this was an actual thing that was going on. Whereas now, people get it. People have seen it themselves enough to realize there's some nefarious forces around us, and usually they're smiling at first.
Yes, that's so true, Chad. They always are smiling at you at first. And then you see what they truly are.
I like the instant fans, those people that come out of nowhere. You've never heard from them. You'll never hear their voice. You'll never see a photo of them. They just have some icon. But they come out of nowhere. They did not exist the day before. And then the next day, they are your biggest fan. And for the next 3 months, they are going to share and compliment everything you ever do. If you fart, they will say good job.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's how I picture my happy home, actually.
A fart? I don't know.
No, just being, given accreditation for flatulence. No, but I was going to say, by the way, guys, we successfully made it to the 8-hour mark.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we started at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It is now 2 a.m. Pacific. It's
5 a.m. here, by the way. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here.
See,
hey, Junebug, you're up.
And this is why they fucking hate us, because we will not go away.
Exactly.
Hey, kick me in the balls as much as you want. I could take it. Can you take the fact that I could take it?
I can take it too because I don't have any balls. So.
I can take it easily.
We can take it too. Here we go.
Kick me all day.
The only part of it that really bugged me was when someone lashed out at me that I had trusted, and then I'm
Chad?
like, okay, well,
No,
not Chad. Sorry, that was.
We're not.
I'm not going to say any names, but yeah, somebody I trusted lashed out at me. So yeah, it hurt. But you all you do is you say, okay, well, I didn't do anything. I was trying to be fair, and I never stopped liking the guy. I never tried to hurt him in any way. If he's lashing out at me, it's on him. It's not on me.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You
I move on.
Get too attached because.
Yeah.
I am attached to certain people here, but I've known y'all enough to know that you are who you are. You haven't changed.
Yeah, yeah.
None of you have ever changed.
I've
Now,
had people
be
in the
careful
past.
with people that act schizophrenic, that are one way one day and another, not even one day, a nanosecond later, they're a totally different person.
Yeah.
You have to
Well,
be careful of that.
when I see people's character flip flop and do a 180
Yeah.
and have one stance one day and then another day have an entirely different stance and then oppose you, it's like, well, where is this coming from? You know,
And
like
they
what?
love and hate people on different days. Like, no, that they're narcissists. They want attention.
Yeah.
And they're looking for that attention, and they're going to do it however they can get it.
And the contrarians too, where if you say it is nighttime right now, not in Australia.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say anything, right?
No, you can't. You can't. You can't say, like, oh, my sky is so blue right now. No, it's not. It's pink with purple polka dots. What the fuck are you talking about? No, they'll
Actually,
argue
every
with you
color
over
but blue.
anything.
Blue is the color refracted back of your eyes.
No, it's frustrating. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. And hence, that's why I left the way I did, and I just went off the face of the earth. But I just couldn't deal with that at that moment.
Yeah, actually, Tara, a lot of us took a break for the longest time. I just walked away. You know what? Done. You know, I had to kind of reset. You know, hit the reset switch.
Yeah, reset. Press reset.
Press the reset button.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I wish you guys could talk to my dog, because right now she's giving us the best. There was a fly in here, and she was just had enough of it. She's one of these. She'll chase flies. She'll hunt them. You know.
I love that. My dogs do it too. I'm like, get that buggy, and they'll go get it.
But you see, they don't tolerate nonsense. You know, it's all just teeth and claws. You know, that's the only law.
I had enough, bitch. You dead.
Yep, and they started snapping at it.
Enough.
My dog went. Oh my gosh, this dog was awesome. People used to want to pet it all the time because it was pretty. But the dog would eat you. And I trained dogs for years. One of my dogs went and worked in Cumberland, Rhode Island, the police department. But I'm like, my dog. Listen, everybody's like, oh, it's so cute and fluffy. I'm like, don't touch that dog. He'll eat you. He'll eat you. Eat the bug in its house. Anything that came in its realm, it ate. A moth, and it didn't swallow them though. It would eat them and then spit it out. He was the best dog ever. I had him since I was 17. He was a great dog. But my little lowriders here too. They don't like bugs either. They try. They can't jump high because they're Shih Tzus. So, but they're like, I'll get you. I'll get you. And they're toothless too. But they go after him. I'm like, go get that buggy. And then both of them will go. And then they want to fight each other. Who gets to fly first?
Well, I don't know about the best dog ever, but I tell you what, this one right here cost me upwards of about $7,000. So you better be a good dog, or I'm gonna make a steak out of you.
I had my dog shipped overseas. That's how I got my dog. But
yeah, she came here from Australia.
Yeah, they're awesome. Awesome. You know what? I'm all about, like, these dogs right here were rescues. I was a breeder since I was 17 years old. I bred dogs and trained them. I canine trained them. But these little dogs, I went in to get a puppy. I end up with two elderly freaking dogs that have no teeth, and my male is blind now. He went blind like about 4 weeks ago. And he has seizures, but you know what? I wouldn't trade him for the world. They're awesome.
She was a rescue too, because she was chained up in the outback to a tire rim.
Oh my God.
So, and she'd obviously been abused because she doesn't like males very much.
Oh, see, and that's them too. They don't like males. They don't like the postman. Like, they don't really like anybody. The female is more friendly. She's alright. But they were breeder dogs. They were stuck in cages, and they just bred them.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That's why they have no teeth, because they never cared for them. Listen, don't have animals. I'm going to say this out to anybody who's listening right now, but don't have animals if you don't want to take care of them. It's just like having a child. They can't. They don't have fucking thumbs, asshole. They can't go get their own shit. You got to take care of them. You know, if you don't want to have the responsibility, don't have them. I don't care if it's a cat, dog, fish. I have a fish right now. I never wanted a fish. I just spent $90 on a fish tank for a fish that was a feeder fish for my praying mantis. But I won't just let something die unless it has a use. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be. So now I have this goldfish that's humongous in my house.
That would be an awesome biography to sell, like the fish's story.
The fish is happy as hell because it didn't want to get eaten by the praying mantis, but the praying mantises only lived so long.
You could write it into like a blues song. Be like, let me tell you about how I survived.
I actually have 2 feeder fish that I've been keeping alive for the longest time because I had these, they're the cousin to the piranha. They're, I can't remember the name right now. That's how long I've had these goldfish. They died. Paku. They died, and the fish that we put in there to feed them, I have 2 left in a 150-gallon tank.
Hey, Paku, isn't that like a Pokemon character?
Growing though. How big are those fish? They're probably pretty big because they're huge.
For goldfish, I mean feeder fish, they're 6 inches a piece. Not to mention I have, and then I have 3 of the sucker fish.
I love those fish.
Well, and those are as long as my elbow to my wrist.
Yep. Now this thing is humongous, and he's a bastard too. I go to make my coffee in the morning because it's coffee time. You know, it's coffee time. The thing is like a dog, and if I don't give him the food right away, he flips all the water out of the friggin' tank. I'm like, dude, really? You pissed? Really? Can I just make the coffee first? Can I just a little caffeine? No, he's an asshole. And if I'm cooking or cutting, like when I'm prepping dinner. Like cooking, like chopping up whatever I'm doing in here. He'll slap that friggin' fin. He wants some of the food, so I have to go over and give him. He's a fat bastard too. I'm like, you were supposed to be dinner.
We're not talking about the goldfish anymore.
No, we still are.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you want to teach him a lesson, just lay him down on a paper towel, gently take him out, lay him down on a paper towel, and just let him hang out for a minute. Like, say, hey, you like that? You like that? That's what it's like outside the tank. You want back in?
Oh, I can hear the emails from PETA.
I'm just joking.
Oh,
I like those apples.
That's funny. Hey, fuck them. They come through my door anyway, so I'll give them another reason. I'm going to stand outside tomorrow. No, I'm not going to dangle my goldfish. That's terrible.
What, PETA is what, people eating tasty animals, or what are they? I'm choking. That was good, John. I like that one.
I had something clever to say. I just forgot what it was.
I would never hurt an animal ever. I probably almost would. I would probably struggle between saving a human and an animal.
Well, do you eat meat though? I mean, or
absolutely, I love meat.
Well, see, that
depends entirely on what human you're talking about, Tay.
Yeah, but like I looked up the number of cows because this whole lion thing I thought was kind of funny. But I looked up the number of cows, and it's like 11,600,000 a year that are slaughtered for just to feed the beef machine, and it's like Nobody gives a shit about 11 million. I mean, imagine if that was people, or if you want to look at animals as people, and people the way we love dogs and cats and our pets and all that. But we're not trained to see certain animals like that, whether it's pigs or cows or
No, you know
whatever.
what? Dennis Leary says this, and back in the old days, he was fucking cool and funny. But you know, if you go look up Dennis Leary, No Cure for Cancer,
Oh yeah, that's
it's the best shit ever. You know,
yeah,
it's like, oh, tuna fish, oh, I'll eat you. Fuck you, fuck you, tuna fish, I'll kill you. Oh, little dolphin, oh, seal,
right.
Oh, and the cow is a baseball gloves, getting a truck with your cousin. You know, I mean, that is the truth of it. I mean, a lot of my food, I don't buy a lot of food from grocery stores. A lot of my meat actually comes from wild hunting, and through my friend I have bison in my refrigerator right now, in my freezer, back in the field. No, so um, I don't agree with just slaughtering things on mass production either, because a lot of it gets wasted anyway. I don't like it. I don't like the way they treat animals. If you kill something, you need to appreciate what you're killing.
That's right. And you know what? Consumption of your prey is a spiritual process. I mean,
It is.
it goes beyond just sustenance. It goes into it's provisions for your future in a sense.
But that was 100 years ago in tribal culture, and yes, you used every part of that animal. It was blood, sweat, and tears just to chase the thing down, stab it enough times to, even get the meat. And then once you got it, you used all that. But if you compare that ritual and that natural, I guess, effect to the way we do it now, anybody who's ever seen the slaughterhouse videos, I can't watch it.
It's
I mean,
disgusting.
I can't either. Yeah, I couldn't watch it.
I mean,
It's not
and
normal. It's not normal. It's not
right.
the way it's supposed to be. It's not.
But even
And
if
it
you
goes
gave
for
them,
every animal that we feed on.
right, and
Cows,
if we had to go do it
pigs,
yourself, if
chickens.
someone gave you the knife and said, "Okay, go out there
Okay,
in the field,"
baby.
yeah. Um, Now, if I was raised doing it, which I was not, but if I was raised doing that and that was the norm, and I was a farmer or whatever, then maybe I would be different about it. And I eat meat. I'm not vegetarian or vegan or anything like that. So I mean, I still eat meat, but I am also aware of the process and
Mm-hmm.
that I'm contributing to it.
Uh,
And again, we don't even acknowledge it. It's not a it's
Exactly.
money,
It goes back to the instant gratification
right?
of whatever food you can get in the moment.
Yeah.
and perception too. I mean, look, okay, when I was like 8 years old, going back, this is like '82, and a popular thing back then was the rabbit's foot keychains. Does anyone remember those?
Oh yeah,
Oh my God, and they
for
dyed
luck.
them different.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like
The rabbit.
really? It spooked the shit out of me as an 8-year-old. I'm like, be like, oh yeah, it's a lucky rabbit's foot. How the fuck is that lucky? It's not very lucky for the rabbit. Where's the other three?
Chopped
Like,
up a rabbit
like
so I could be lucky.
what? You
Yeah,
know?
What?
I remember seeing those. And listen, I'll tell you a story. Because I lived where I lived in a log cabin, like out in the woods. I really did, guys. Like, no lying. And but a friend of ours, they owned a rabbit farm.
Hey, I live in a trailer in an
And
orchard. It's
I
pretty close.
love those bunnies. I was like, oh my God, they're the cutest thing. And I went there. I wish my mom was here right now because she would tell you. But I would be like, oh my God, the bunnies, and I would eat all the time over there. And my mom would tell me it was chicken. It was, probably the bunnies I was freaking holding. But she knew it would, as a little child, that it would traumatize me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was just holding these bunnies. You know what I mean? But this was like a huge rabbit farm. I can't even, they must have had at least 2,000 rabbits. I mean,
Oh,
it was crazy. But,
Hey Rob. Hey Rob.
Yo.
What do you think? Should we shut it down? You want to like give a little outro for anybody who might watch this in the future?
Well, it's your channel, your call. My show is done at the 8-hour mark, so.
Oh, okay. So
But
Rob
no,
already finished.
actually, you know what? But yeah, if you want, you can shut her down. I will have to say thank you to everybody who was on the panel tonight. I will stitch together all 3 takes here. I will stitch it all together and upload the whole 8-hour podcast. Gotta send a shout out to to Amanda and Doug. Thank you for your input and telling everybody what was going on. I'd like to send a shout out to Spiro, Professor Doom. Thanks for your input and for the great videos you did and helping to get knowledge out about Amanda and Doug. And holy crap, it's been a long 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But and you guys, everyone present here on the panel, thank you guys so much. You guys are my support structure here. I appreciate it.
Well, we
No problem, buddy.
appreciate you too, and Chad too for bringing Amanda.
Yeah, that was great. That was
Mary, but,
so bonus.
Actually, it was like 24 hours ago, almost to the letter, that I finally got in communication with Chad. And it was about 1 o'clock yesterday my time, so it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I said interesting day on the internet, and you're like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. How do you mean? Yeah. And yeah, it was almost 24 hours to the letters, like 25 hours maybe.
And within that time frame, we actually got the opportunity to speak directly with them. That right there is amazing to me. I love the internet for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that
you know what? We could have tried to get Joanne on here.
Oh yeah.
Patient. I tried to, but she couldn't figure out how to get there with the Google. She didn't even join the private hangout that I tried to start. Invited her to.
Well, you know, I'll tell you this. So before we sign off for the night, I want everybody else to look into this, watch the videos, and keep tabs on the situation. Any help that these people can get, we should offer. And like I said, if we can't afford to be wrong. Like if I'd rather be wrong and this be a hoax than be wrong and play it off like it's nothing, and then somebody gets hurt. If that happens, then I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. You know what I mean? So, like,
you
guys,
have to live with that. You have to live with that, and I don't think these people are.
No, I think this is a real deal. I'm pretty convinced that this is a real deal. This woman does need our help. We got to keep tabs, and anybody who can find her safe passage, or even just the numbers, just call. You know,
right.
We're gonna be.
Just share.
Yeah, share this information. The more people that know about this, the more of a ruckus it's going to cause, and then they're going to want to leave this the fuck alone.
Exactly. They'll either tear apart our character more, you know what I mean, or they'll just leave her alone, like get her out of here. We don't. And if the thing is, she needs to know that if everything she's saying is true, which I believe that everything she's saying is true, she needs to stay in the spotlight. I mean, if something happens to her now after all these other doctors, then you know what? There's going to be a great uprising.
Yeah, and I've been touting this to a few people as I've been trying to get other viewers that normally wouldn't watch the podcast. I went into Facebook and I rallied up a few others to kind of jump on board, and I basically said, this is potentially save the world kind of shit, guys. Like, this is like, this is about exposing an actual item that could save lives, and I'm not just talking about Amanda and Doug at this point. Like GC Map, if it's a real deal, and we actually expose our own body's ability to create this drug, we might be able to stop the powers that be from inhibiting that ability. So, a little more awareness, a little more education goes a long way. So
look at the poison they sold you, all with the Ebola thing there was a little bit of talk about this earlier, but I had to get up. But the map and then with the G, you know what I mean? That it's just, listen, it's always cloned in some way or another, or mirrored, or whatever. The truth is always within the lie. You know what I'm saying? So when people were questioning that, I was like, yeah, that's just them. That they have their form of curing like rabies by pumping you full of rabies. That's basically what Ebola is. It has the same effects as rabies does. So you have ZMAP, right? So then they have the G. You know what I'm saying? So that it's just another mirror image, basically.
The
But of
project.
something good, something that's true.
Remember, Tara, when I mentioned I was going to do the designer disease series?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I put it on hold, put it on the back burner. I don't even really have to do it now because the whole fucking thing is playing itself out
Unfolded right before our eyes. Yeah.
right in front of our fucking faces. Like I don't even have to do it. Like I mean, it's just unfolding.
Well, they play it out for you in movies all the time too. They're showing you. That's what we're gonna do.
That's how we do it.
Last week on the WBZ right here in the Boston Magic Firecracker State, they had, measles are up and running again, and they're telling adults that they need measles vaccinations. Are you kidding me? That doesn't even make sense from any doctor standpoint. Doesn't even make sense. You're already immune to that shit. You had a vaccination for it when you were a kid. If you didn't get measles then, you're gonna get measles now. But they're bringing back up the measles thing. The whole thing is disgusting. It's disgusting.
And I'm sorry to write people off this way, but if you're not trying to help the situation, you're either in on it or you're stupid.
You're dead weight.
Right.
You're the dead weight, or you're one of the assholes.
Yep.
Especially if we're lucky, most times we only learn the truth of things after the fact, and that's if we're lucky.
Yeah.
This is something that I thought was amazing because it's happening right now in real time.
This might even be the only one that we even have a chance to. Maybe Luke,
right.
She was on vacation when they decided to you know.
We're in front of this one, guys.
And it's beautiful in its own way. It's sad what she's going through and all that, but it's beautiful in its own way to get it out there and say,
That's
look,
right.
I mean, wouldn't it be great if we knew what was happening in JFK's life before they blew his fucking brains out? Wouldn't that be
right? Or any of them, or if you would have known about Sandy Hook a week in advance, or anything. I mean, that would. Who knows what that could have changed? Whereas this seems like an opportunity to be able to make those changes before something bad happens.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to thank everybody that's listened. We're gonna have to take all three of these podcasts, stitch them together, and have one big long one. And Rick, you can go ahead and take
folks. Good night, everybody. And I want to thank everybody on the panel too. Crystal, your posts, your shares were what originally even opened my eyes to her plight. And Chad, all that work, talking to her and sharing that stuff, getting everybody involved. I think that it's a really good thing that we're doing. And thanks for having this show, Rob.
Hey, man.
And thanks for anybody who watches this.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for being my co-host.
No problem, man.
I have a bad track record with co-hosts.
Oh well.
Yeah, me too. Now that I think
it, man. All right. Good night to the audience.
Peace out, YouTube.
Mwah. Love you all. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, good morning for me. It's like 5:30 in the morning here, so.